What if the man you dismissed as a nobody was the very man signing your paycheck? What if the janitor scrubbing the floor knew more about money, power, and respect than anyone sitting in a corner office? This is the true story of Darius Johnson, a black man who endured humiliation every single day, until the day he rose and left the world in shock. His days were filled with quiet labor. Scrubbing bathrooms that executives dirtied without thought. Wiping glass doors that were slammed in his face. Sweeping lobbies where people laughed at him, sometimes intentionally dropping wrappers so he would pick them up. For Darius, the humiliation wasn't always loud. Sometimes it was in the small gestures, the way people clutched their bags tighter when he walked past, the way guards eyed him suspiciously as if he didn't belong. And then came the worst. One afternoon, a white police officer was called to the building. Someone had reported a suspicious man hanging around. It was Darius. Standing with his mop bucket, waiting for the elevator. The officer questioned him harshly, shoved him against the wall, and accused him of pretending to be staff to cover up criminal activity. Employees gathered, watching, whispering. Not one person defended him. Darius lowered his head, took the insult, and returned to work. But deep inside, he never forgot. What no one in that building knew was that Darius Johnson wasn't just a janitor. He was a millionaire. Born in Birmingham, England, Darius grew up in poverty. His single mother worked night shifts as a cleaner to provide for him. As a boy, he promised himself he would change his family's future. Through grit, late nights, and smart investments, he built a real estate empire. By the time he was 40, he owned properties across London and New York. Yet, despite his wealth, he never forgot what it felt like to be invisible. So he devised a plan. He would disguise himself as a janitor in his own building, one of his largest corporate towers in New York. He wanted to see the truth. To know who respected people regardless of status, and who only valued appearances. For months, he scrubbed floors, mopped hallways, and endured cruelty, all while quietly observing. On a Friday morning, the building buzzed with energy. Staff hurried into the boardroom for an important investor meeting. Everyone was eager to impress, hoping for promotions or praise. Darius was there too, sweeping near the glass doors. He heard them laughing. Some joked about his uniform. Others said they couldn't imagine someone like him ever sitting at the boardroom table. They laughed as he polished the floor. But Darius stayed silent. Soon, silence filled the room as the CEO walked in with security. Behind him, stepping confidently, came Darius Johnson. But this time, he wasn't wearing his janitor's uniform. He was dressed in a sharp black suit, polished shoes, and an air of authority that no one could ignore. The announcement stunned them all. Darius was introduced as the majority owner of the building. Faces drained of color. Employees shifted uncomfortably in their seats. The man they mocked for months now controlled their futures. Darius had kept notes, detailed accounts of every insult, every slight, every disrespect. He knew exactly who had treated him poorly and who had shown kindness. The same officer who once shoved him had recently applied for a lucrative private security contract in the building. Application was immediately rejected. His arrogance cost him his chance. The employees who had mocked him most were put under review. They were told their promotions were frozen, their reputations tarnished not by rumors, but by their own behavior. Those who had shown him kindness, the receptionist who greeted him warmly, the cleaner who shared her lunch with him, the guard who nodded respectfully, were quietly rewarded with bonuses and new opportunities. Instead of firing everyone, Darius chose something deeper. He mandated mandatory training on respect, diversity, and equality. Those unwilling to change would be removed. But those willing to learn had a chance to redeem themselves. So the next time you walk past someone you think is beneath you, remember this story. Because behind the uniform, behind the silence, may be a power greater than you ever imagined.